She welcomed her struggling twin to her marriage ceremony to shame her. But her entrance with the tycoon, she was deceived by her twin, stripped of her career, her romance, and her pride. In anguish, she agreed to wed the man everyone ridiculed as a cleaner, only to learn he was a wealthy mogul in disguise. 2 months later, her twin's lavish wedding at the airport turned into the platform for the ultimate comeback. And the instant the entire town honored the sister they tried to crush. Before we proceed, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, share in the comments where you're watching from. Let's begin. You'll never be worthy. Not for him, not for anyone. The words struck like a blade. Emma's hand trembled around the folder she clutched to her chest, papers shaking against her. She had labored for weeks on those documents, her shot to prove she belonged. But the sight before her erased every spark of hope. Her twin sister, Sophia, stood in the office lobby center with David, their boss, Emma's fiancé, his arm wrapped snugly around her waist. The smirk on Sophia's face said it all. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't a coincidence. It was betrayal, intentional and ruthless. Emma's voice broke. "You're with him." Sophia tilted her head, smoothing her jacket as if she'd already won. "Why not? You thought he adored you. He endured you. You were just useful until I showed him what true ambition looks like." David didn't even blink. He didn't defend himself, didn't deny it. He just gave a faint smile, confirming the truth that broke Emma's heart. Tears burned her eyes. "I gave you both everything." Sophia stepped closer, her gaze cold. "That's your flaw, Emma. You give, you sacrifice, and you think people will value you for it, but life doesn't work that way. People don't see you. They replace you." The words echoed, harsh and icy. But Sophia wasn't done. She nodded toward the hallway's far end, where a man in grey overalls pushed a mop, head bowed, shoulders slumped. "Why don't you marry him?" Sophia mocked, pointing with her polished nail. "The cleaner. He's perfect for you. Ordinary, forgettable, just like you." The laughter that followed, David's cruel chuckle, Sophia's smug grin, was too much for Emma to bear. Heat flooded her face. Shame scorched her skin. She wanted to flee, to vanish, but her legs wouldn't move. Then the mop stopped. The man in grey set it aside and walked slowly toward her. His steps were steady, his expression calm, his voice low but firm. "You don't deserve this," Emma startled, blinking through her tears. "Don't pity me," she whispered, her voice cracking. "It's not pity," he said firmly. "It's truth. They don't see your value. But I do." His words shook her. No one had ever spoken like that when she was at her lowest. She shook her head. "Why would you say that?" "You don't know me." His gaze held steady. "Because I know what it's like to be underestimated, to be told you're nothing, but you're not nothing, Emma. You're more than they'll ever admit." She swallowed hard, trying to steady her breath. "Why? Why are you saying this?" He stepped closer, then quietly but firmly asked, "Do you want revenge?" The air stilled. The word felt dangerous, unthinkable, but it also burned in her chest. "What do you mean?" "Exactly what I said," he replied. "If you want to reclaim your life, if you want them to regret every word, marry me." She let out a hollow laugh, tears streaming down her face. "Marry you? I don't even know you. You're a cleaner and I—" The words stopped because she couldn't say the rest. "I'm worthless." His jaw tightened. "You see a cleaner? But I promise you I'm more than that. Marry me, and you'll never have to lower your head again." Her heart ached, torn between doubt and a flicker of hope. "Why me?" she whispered. His answer was firm. "Because you're stronger than you know, and because he see you, truly see you." Sophia's laughter echoed again from down the hall, sharp and victorious. Emma clenched her fists. The shame twisted into something else, bitterness, fire. Her voice trembled, but the words came. Yes. The air felt heavier the moment she spoke, as if the world had shifted with no way back. Emma's throat tightened. Her knees felt weak. Her palms were slick with sweat. She blinked rapidly, trying to process what she'd just said. "What have I done?" Her voice broke as she whispered. "I don't even know your name." The man's eyes softened but never wavered. "Ethan," he said simply. Then after a pause, his voice lowered, steady and sure. "And I've known your name since the first day you walked in here. I saw how you carried yourself when no one cared. How hard you worked when they ignored you. How you stood tall when they tried to break you. Don't think for a moment you were ever invisible to me. The words landed like a weight in her chest. Her breath shuddered. This is crazy. Maybe I've truly lost my mind. Ethan, she murmured, her voice shaking. I don't know if this is right. Maybe I'm a fool. Maybe my sister was right about me. He shook his head firmly. No, Emma, you were wronged, but you were never a fool. You said yes. Hold on to that. Everything after blurred. Within hours, she stood before a tired courthouse clerk, fluorescent lights buzzing faintly above. The ceremony was simple, almost lifeless. Papers signed, words recited with little care. When the clerk asked if she took him as her husband, Emma's lips trembled as she whispered, I do. The ring slid onto her finger, cool against her skin. The clerk stamped the papers, uninterested, and pushed them back across the desk. That was it. It was done. Emma stared at the gold band, her heart racing. I've just married a man I barely know. Am I completely out of my mind? When they stepped into the night air, Emma froze. 4 black cars stood in perfect formation at the curb. Not a single passerby lingered. Not a single curious glance. The sidewalks were empty, the street oddly silent. It was as if the world had been cleared for their departure. The back door opened without a word. Ethan placed a gentle hand on her arm. She climbed in, her breath shallow. The leather seats seemed to swallow her as the door closed with a soft click. No one saw us leave. The convoy moved smoothly through Thessaly, slipping away from busy streets into darker, quieter roads. Emma's reflection stared back from the window, pale, wide-eyed, frightened. Her thoughts raced. What have I done? What if I've walked into a trap? What if I've tied myself to a stranger and ruined what little I had left? The cars slowed before tall iron gates. They swung open silently, revealing a mansion hidden behind stone walls and towering trees. Guards stood at the perimeter, silent, disciplined. Inside, the mansion glowed with warm lanterns. The scent of jasmine filled the air. The marble floors gleamed under her shoes as she stepped inside, disoriented. What is this place? She asked, her voice catching. Ethan's reply was calm. A stop. Rest for a moment, then we leave. The mansion was quiet, unnervingly so. Servants moved quickly, offering water and warm towels, but Emma barely touched them. She sat stiffly in a chair, staring at the ring on her finger, her thoughts screaming. This is madness. I've truly lost my mind. No one even knows where I am. Ethan spoke briefly with the men who had escorted them. When he turned back, his voice was steady. It's time. The cars pulled out again, driving deeper into the countryside. Emma pressed her hand to the window as trees blurred past, her breath shallow. Finally, they emerged onto Apravat airstrip, floodlights illuminating the sleek silver body of a jet waiting at the edge. Engines hummed softly. The staircase was lowered. Crew members in crisp uniforms stood in place, silent. Her stomach flipped. Ethan, what is this? It didn't answer. He only extended his hand. Trust me. Her legs trembled as she climbed the staircase. Inside, the cabin glowed with quiet luxury, cream leather, polished wood, crystal glasses already set in place. She sank into a seat, numb. The door shut, engines roared. The jet moved, then lifted, the ground falling away. Emma pressed her palms together, her voice barely a whisper. I don't understand. I don't know who you really are. I don't know what I've just done. Maybe I've lost my mind. Ethan turned toward her, finally breaking the silence. His voice was firm, carrying a weight that filled the cabin. You haven't lost your mind, Emma. You've found your freedom. My name is Ethan Stone. From the first day you walked into that building, I knew who you were. I saw how they treated you. I saw the strength you didn't even know you had. That's why you're here. That's why you're mine. Her breath caught. The name rang faintly in her memory. Headlines she'd skimmed, whispers she'd overheard at the office about power and wealth beyond her reach. Her lips parted. Ethan Stone, you're... The plane cut through the clouds that night, and Ethan's words echoed inside her. From this day forward, you will never lower your head again. Over the weeks that followed, Emma learned those weren't empty words. Ethan loved her in a way she never thought possible. In the mansion where they stayed, he never treated her like a burden, never reminded her of her painful past. Instead, he asked what she wanted, what she dreamed of, and listened as if her words mattered. They strolled gardens at dusk, dined by candlelight in quiet rooms, and shared mornings where he insisted on pouring her coffee. "You've carried others your whole life," he'd say, taking the cup from her hand. "Now let me carry you." Little by little, the sharp edges of her pain faded. The sound of Sophia's laughter no longer haunted her nights. The sting of betrayal eased. For the first time, Emma felt whole. 2 months passed in a peace she never thought she'd know. Then the letter arrived, delivered by Aguard's hand, heavy cream paper embossed with gold. The guard found it at her old apartment. Sophia's handwriting slashed across the front. Emma's heart raced as she unfolded it. "Since you vanished from your little apartment, everyone assumed you were gone. I didn't bother searching. Why would I? I've been busy with the boss, as you know. But you must come to my wedding. It will be the grandest this city has ever seen. Everyone will be there. You wouldn't want to miss it." Emma's hands trembled as she read. The arrogance leapt off the page. Sophia hadn't even wondered where she was. She was too busy flaunting her stolen prize. Ethan read the letter over her shoulder, his jaw tight, but his voice calm. "She wants to make a mockery of you. She expects you to return broken." Emma swallowed. "Then we'll give her a spectacle. But not the one she expects." The wedding was set at the city's private airport, a grand event Sophia had planned to outshine everyone who ever doubted her. Red carpets lined the hangar floor. Chandeliers hung from steel beams. Guests arrived in shimmering gowns and tailored suits. Photographers crowded near, eager to capture the moment the triumphant sister married her stolen groom. Sophia stood at the center in a radiant white gown, her smile sharp, her chin lifted proudly. David, smug in his tuxedo, stayed close by her side. Whispers spread as guests looked toward the entrance, waiting for Emma to appear alone, shamed. But then the roar of engines silenced every whisper. Heads turned. A sleek jet descended, its silver body gleaming under the afternoon sun. It rolled across the runway and stopped just beyond the hangar doors. The staircase lowered, and in the hush that followed, Ethan Stone stepped out first, elegant in a dark, tailored suit, his presence commanding. Gasps erupted. Some guests recognized him instantly. Others whispered frantically as they pieced together the sight. Then Emma appeared. She descended the staircase in a flowing black gown, her posture straight, her hand tucked firmly into Ethan's. Cameras flashed wildly. The woman they expected to mock had arrived with a man no one dared belittle. Sophia's smile wavered. Her bouquet trembled in her grip. "No, this can't be," she hissed under her breath. David's jaw tightened. He knew the name Ethan Stone, a man whose power dwarfed his own tenfold. His throat went dry. Emma walked into the hangar with deliberate calm. Every step echoed, and every eye followed her. She stopped just feet from her sister. "You invited me to shame me," Emma said, her voice steady, carrying through the silence. "You thought I'd arrive small, broken, alone, but today I stand beside the man you once scorned. The man you thought was beneath you." Ethan's voice cut in, calm but sharp. "Shakan, she already has. You pointed at me once and laughed, called me a cleaner. Today you face the same man, only now you see the truth of who I am." The guests gasped. Murmurs rippled through the hall. Photographers snapped every moment. Emma stepped closer, her eyes locked on her sister's. "You said I'd never be enough, but look at you now, Sophia. On the day meant to crown you, all anyone sees is your shame. Your cruelty has undone you." Sophia's hands shook, her bouquet slipping from her grip. David avoided Emma's gaze, sweat forming at his temples. Emma straightened, her voice ringing. "You thought today would be my regret. Instead it will haunt you, because this moment, this spectacle, you created it. You sent me the invitation, and now you watch as it destroys you." The silence was heavy. Every eye was on Sophia, her humiliation complete, her pride shattered before the crowd she had gathered to glorify her. Ethan squeezed Emma's hand gently, guiding her past them both. Together, they walked across the red carpet toward the exit, heads high, leaving behind the ruin of Sophia's triumph. For the first time in her life, Emma didn't just survive, she triumphed. Want part 2? Be sure to hit that like button now. Comment below where you're watching from. We love hearing your stories.